Hello students, welcome to KENE'S Educare, a group of KENE solutions. This is part 10 of lesson The Fundamental Unit of Life. So as we all know that cell is the structural and functional unit of life. It is known as the fundamental unit of life, right? And we have discussed so many things about cell till now. As we are on to part 10, you should be clear with all the basic concepts, everything that we have studied so far in the lesson, because we are just left with two or three more parts and then we will be ending up with the session. So most probably in this part or in the next part we are going to complete the whole lesson. So make sure you are revising, you have revised each and every concept properly. You should not have any doubt in any of the lesson as well, okay, like in the lesson as well, because if you have it, you have to go through the parts that I have covered before, so that you're getting cleared with it. But if you're not cleared with it, we are even revising it each and everything in every part, and that is why like we are taking too long, right? Just for one lesson we are taking like so many parts. So there is a reason, right? Because we are revising, we are studying it. Like for me, it should not be that you're sitting aside after the session, after listening to this. You should not sit aside with the same thing again. If you are giving your 1 hour for this, it should be done within that time, okay? So before I proceed with today's part, I want each one of you to please revise whatever we have studied in like part till part 9, because that is very important for us, right? So everyone please study it once. I hope everyone is revising everything, every notes that you have taken in your book. So we have started the lesson by discussing about Robert Hooke, because he was the one who has introduced the cell, right? So because of him we have the cell theory. So I just want you all to please go through it once. After this cell theory, we discussed on cell. So I just want each one of you to please go through each and every part. After this cell, we discussed on like what are living organisms made up of, and for that we have done this activity 5.1. So I want you all to please go through this activity, and even please go through the compound microscope part that we have. Okay. I hope everyone is going through it. After this, we discussed on this like how exactly the onion cell is going to look like under the microscope, right? So I just want you all to please go through this slide. After this, like we discussed on this activity 5.2, so I just want you all to please go through it, everyone. After this activity 5.2, here we have the different types of cells which have different shape and like the size as well, right? So I just want you all to please go through it once. After this, like here we have about division of labor. So I just want you all to please go through it. After this, we discussed on like what is a cell made up of and what is the structural organization of the cell. So I just want each one of you to please go through it quickly. After this we discussed on like plasma membrane, which is also called as the cell membrane. So now you know many of my students they get confused. If I ask about plasma membrane, they know about cell membrane, and then they get confused between cell wall and cell membrane, and they think that plasma membrane and cell membrane both are different. No, it's the same thing. Okay. So I just want you all to please go through it quickly. After this, like here we have more information on diffusion which has been given. So I want each one of you to please go through it quickly. After this, we discussed on the three types of solution that we have, that is hypertonic solution, hypotonic solution, and isotonic solution. Okay, so I just want you all to please go through this slide, as this slide is very important. Please go through it, everyone. After this, like you need to draw this to represent as well the three types of solutions, that is hypertonic, hypotonic, and isotonic solution. Okay. Please go through this activity 5.3 as well, because here we have osmosis with an egg. So like you should be knowing the procedure, you should be knowing what will be the observation and the conclusion as well. So I want you all to please go through this activity quickly. Then after this we studied on this activity 5.4. So I want each one of you to please go through it as well. After this we discussed on endocytosis process. So I want you all to please go through it quickly. After this, we discussed on cell wall, so I just want you all to please quickly go through the part. Oh, so sorry. So here we have an important concept as plasmolysis, which has been given. I just want you all to please go through it quickly. After this, we discussed on this activity again, so I just want every one of you to please go through it. Then like this is the actual representation of how the activity will be done and what exactly can be seen under a microscope using that. Okay. After this, we discussed about nucleus, so I just want you all to please go through it quickly. Then here we have about the nucleus. We know that nucleus is double layered, right? It has an outer layer and an inner layer. So that comes under the nuclear membrane. Okay. And then here we have information on DNA, chromatin and everything. So I just want you all to please go through it quickly. Then I hope everyone has gone through this slide, because here we have information on prokaryotes and eukaryotes as well, right? Sorry. Okay, after this we discussed on the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell as well in detail. So I just want you all to please go through it quickly. Then after that we discussed on cytoplasm. So please go through this quickly, everyone. After this we discussed like more about viruses and how exactly like viruses are not active outside the cell, but they will be active like in a human body, right? So then we studied about cell organelles. I just want you all to please go through it quickly. So sorry. Then after that we discussed on endoplasmic reticulum. So here we have two types of endoplasmic reticulum. One is smooth endoplasmic reticulum and the other one is rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. Sorry. So like after the endoplasmic reticulum, after discussing the functions of it, okay, we discussed on the difference and similarities between plant cell and animal cell, right? So I want you all to please go through it as well once, because you might have written the differences and similarities in your book. After that we discussed on Golgi apparatus, right? So we even discussed on how Golgi apparatus was discovered by Camillo Golgi in the later part. But here we have the information on Golgi apparatus and what it exactly have, right? Then we discussed about Camilo Golgi, so I want you all to please go through it. Then after that we discussed on lysosomes in the last class, and we even discussed on why lysosomes are called as the suicide bags of the cell, right? So I want you all to please go through it. Then we even discussed on mitochondria, right? Then like we need to discuss about plastids and vacuoles, which we will be discussing about. But for now I want you all to please read about this lysosomes and mitochondria quickly. I hope you all are going through whatever is written, but make sure you are even going through the diagrams that have been given, right? Then after this, now we will be discussing about plastids. Now if you can see the structure of plastids that they have given on screen, always remember, like as we discussed, that cell wall is present only in plant cell. Same way, plastids are also present only in plants. Okay, so plastids are present only in plant cells, and there are two types of plastids. How many? Two. One is known as leucoplast and the other one is chromoplast. Now we know that chromo means color, right? So the colored plastids are known as chromoplast, and the other one, which are white or colorless, they are called as leucoplast. Okay, chromoplast is colored plastids and leucoplast is white or colorless plastids. Okay, then when it comes to chromoplast, chromoplasts containing the pigment chlorophyll are known as chloroplasts. So sorry. Now we know that all plants are green in color, and that is because of the pigment called as chlorophyll, which is present in plant, right? So chromoplasts, which contains the pigment chlorophyll, they are called as chloroplast, right? So chromoplasts have this chloroplast present, and this chloroplast have this chlorophyll which have been present, because of which they become colored, and that is why the colored plastids are called as chromoplast. Okay, then the second type of plastids that we have is leucoplast, but before that we need to study about what is exactly a chloroplast. So chloroplasts are important for photosynthesis in plants, and chloroplasts also contain various yellow or orange pigment in addition to chlorophyll. Okay, so in addition to chlorophyll, what will the chloroplast have? The chloroplast will have yellow or orange pigments which will be present in them. So we know about chromoplast now, that chromoplasts have chloroplast present in them, and then we have the second type of, you can say, plastid, which is known as leucoplast. So leucoplasts are primarily organelle, in which materials such as starch, oils and protein granules are stored. Okay, what does leucoplast have? Leucoplasts are primarily organelles which will have the starch, oils and protein granules stored in them, and they are going to act as store, like they play a very important role in storage. Okay, then the internal organization of the chloroplast consists of numerous membrane layers embedded in a material called as stroma. Now can you see the fourth part which they have labeled? So this is the structure of chloroplast. Inside that, the first that you can see, the yellow part, that is the inner membrane. Second one is the intermembrane space. Third one is the outer membrane. So we have inner membrane, outer membrane, and there's a space in between the inner and the outer membrane, which we know it as intermembrane space. Okay, then fourth one is the stroma, fifth one is the thylakoid, and lastly the sixth one that we have is lamella. Okay, so as we were discussing about leucoplasts, now this leucoplasts are primarily organelles in which materials such as starch, oil and protein granules which will be present, right? So the internal organization of the chloroplast, it consists of numerous membrane layers which are embedded in a material called as stroma. So I just told you where is the stroma. The fourth part that you can see, that is the stroma, right? So these are similar to mitochondria in external structure, and like the mitochondria, plastids also have their own DNA and ribosomes. What do they have? Plastids have their own DNA and ribosomes which are present. Okay. So I just want you all to draw the structure that has been given, and even like after drawing the structure, write all the important points from the screen as well. I hope everyone is drawing the structure and writing about it as well. Sorry, I hope you all are writing about plastids. After this plastids, now we have the next thing to study, that is about the vacuoles. Now can you see one vacuole that is present in the center? Right, that blue colored thing. Then you can see the chloroplast, mitochondria, plasma membrane, Golgi apparatus, ribosomes, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Then we have rough endoplasmic reticulum, nucleus, nucleolus, nuclear membrane. There are so many organelles which have been seen, and in the center there's one large big vacuole which has been present, right? So always remember that vacuoles are storage sac for solid or liquid content. What are they? They are solid or liquid content, storage sac of solid or liquid contents. Vacuoles are small sized in animals, while in plants have very large vacuoles. So remember this, that plants will have a large vacuole, whereas animals will have a small sized vacuole. And the central vacuole of some plant cells, they occupy 50 to 90% of the cell volume. What do they occupy? 50 to 90% of the cell volume has been occupied by them. So in plant cells, vacuoles are full of cell sap and they provide turgidity and rigidity to the cell. Okay, what do they provide? They provide turgidity and rigidity, that is hardness to the cell. So many substances of importance in life of the plant cells are stored in the vacuole. So just imagine how important vacuole is, right? So this includes the important substance that they have, that includes amino acid, sugar, various organic acids, some proteins. Okay, then in single celled organisms like amoeba, the food vacuole like the food vacuole contains the food items that the amoeba has consumed. Okay, and it is the structural unit of living organism, which is also known as the basic functional unit of life, right? You can even draw the structure and keep. I hope everyone has done writing all the important points from screen about vacuoles. Now, see, in some unicellular organism, there is a specialized vacuole which is present, and that specialized vacuole play important role in expelling the excess water and some waste from the cell. So whatever extra water and extra waste will be present in the cell, that will be expelled out from the body of the unicellular organism, and each cell thus acquires its structure and ability to function because of the organization of its membrane and organelles in a specific way, right? So each cell, it acquires its structure and ability to function. Why? Because of the organization of its membrane and organelle that is present in a specific way, right? So the cell thus has a basic structural organization. What does it have? It has a basic structural organization, and this helps the cell to perform functions like respiration, obtaining nutrition, clearing of waste material, or forming new protein. And that is why we call this cell as the fundamental and the structural unit of life. Okay, so this is also very important, so I just want you all to please go through it quickly, everyone. I hope everyone is writing from the screen. After this, like, we have cell division to discuss in detail, and as you can see, figure 5.7, like what, which is mitosis, and figure 5.8 is meiosis, right? Now you can see that there is a difference between the how the cell is dividing, right, in mitosis and meiosis. So we will be studying about it in detail, about mitosis and meiosis, but like I'm going to start that in the next part because we need to discuss the exercise questions as well. So we'll be doing about mitosis and meiosis. We'll be discussing the differences between them, okay? And then we will be even discussing about meiosis, like what differences exist between them, and what are the similarities, and why exactly they play an important role in our body. So we will be discussing about cell division in detail, about mitosis and meiosis both, and after that we have some of the exercise questions as well to discuss. So but before starting with that exercise question, we have this summary discussion that we will be doing of like what exactly we have studied in the lesson so far. So we'll be studying about that, and after that we will be discussing on this exercise questions as well. I hope everyone is going through the questions, because in the next part we will be discussing on each and every question which has been like given on the screen, and altogether like we have 10 questions to discuss, right? Now these questions are so easy, like very direct questions have been asked. Question number 9 is bit like lengthy, and like you will have to use your brain for answering it. Like you'll have to think more when you have to answer this question 9. Okay, and then we have this last question, that is the 10th question that we will be discussing at the end. So this is how we will be ending up with the lesson, the fundamental unit of life. Okay, and like whatever we have studied till now, I want you all to have revision on that, because next part is going to be the last part for the lesson. Okay, so you have to be thorough with each and everything that we are studying. We are just left with mitosis, meiosis, and the exercise question. So make sure you all are doing the revision properly and you know the lesson well now. Okay, so here I'll end the session for now, and I'll continue with the rest of the part in the next class. Thank you everyone.